Hi Facebook, hi TikTok. Let me just adjust that because it's a little bit low, the Facebook one. All right, hopefully you guys can see well enough. This is a new setup for me. Obviously I'm in my new kitchen and I've got my new machine, so we're just trying to make the best of it as best we can. I'll bring that forward and hopefully you guys can both see this well. Hi, this is the new TM7. I've only just brought mine home on Sunday and I'm going to have a bit of a cook and let's see how we go. So TM7, brand new. The first shipment for our customers I think is being dispatched about the 2nd or 3rd of June. So if you've already placed your order, thank you so much for your support. If you haven't yet placed your order and you're still considering it, let me know and I would love to help you out. Today we're going to be cooking from the Skinny Mix's A Little Taste of Asia book. So that's where we're at today. Skinny, and we're making this one, which if I turn to the right page would be helpful. This one is called Ayam, Kaplan, which means Kaplan's curry. So that's what we're cooking today. Kaplan's curry. So we are going to be cooking in manual mode today. This is not a cookie do recipe. This is the manual mode. Hi Jen, hi Tani, how are you? Okay, now let me just see who's on. Hi guys, we're doing a curry today, so tuning on in. Let me just move this chair out the way and I'll move this a little bit closer and hopefully I'll be able to actually see your comments and things because the light is a little blinding. So I'm just going to get this set up for, yeah, that's a little bit better. So we're making a Skinny Mix's recipe tonight. We're making Ayam Kaplan, which is a Kaplan's curry. We're going to make it in our brand new TM7. Thank you for those that have already come on board. Hi Amy. If you want to know more about the TM7, let me know. If you want to know more about the TM6, let me know as well. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a paste. So we're actually going to make the curry paste. We're going to do that in the Thermomix. And before I do that, I knew there was something I had to do. I need to reboil the kettle. So the first thing in this recipe is to take some dried chilies. So I've got these dried chilies here that I got from that I got from the Asian supermarket. I've got a bigger bag than I did last time, so I kind of went through them. So we just need to take a few of these. Now I've pre-boiled the kettle before, so it won't take quite so long. But I'm going to take a few of these and basically rehydrate them. Now obviously if you don't like a spicy curry, then you can reduce the number of chilies that are in it. And in fact there's another part of the recipe where you can de-seed your chilies and bring that down a bit as well. Facebook, let me know if that angle's working okay, so I've kind of got two cameras set up, so I just want to make sure everyone can see what they're going through. So as I said, this is manual cooking, so this is me telling the machine time, temperature and speed, as opposed to the cookie do recipes where the machine already knows the settings because it's come from one of our onboard recipes. This again, Skinny Mix is A Little Taste of Asia. This is the Ayam Kaplan, which is the Kaplan's curry. We're going to make our curry base in the bottom, and then we're going to, it actually makes 2 portions of curry paste, so we're going to keep one for later. I've got my little freezer safe container here that I'm going to put the second portion in. I'm going to pop on that, the name of the curry, and then I'm going to keep that other portion in the freezer. Now, I'm looking for paint pen markers. Okay. So I'll just take my little paint pen and I'll pop on the side. This is so I know what it is. And I just spent the last 15 minutes peeling all these shallots. It needs 400 grams of shallots, I think it is. And that would have been the most boring thing for you guys to watch, is me peeling shallots or onions. So I've done that. I had a good cry from the onions, and now we're going to get going. So let me know, hi everyone on TikTok and Facebook, if you've seen the TM7 before. Let me know if you have any questions about it. Let me know. How's the TM7? Oh, it's lovely. I've only had mine. I brought it home Sunday. I did about a 90-minute live on it last night over on Facebook on my VIP group to show the differences and similarities between the TM6 and the TM7. So I'm loving it. I'm getting to know it really, really well. There are things that are very similar to the 6, and then there are things that are unique to the 7, so I'm loving it so far. You're doing a demo tonight, can't wait. Fantastic. What are you going to use from the menu matrix? Are you using the new demo thing, or are you using the old one? Hi everyone over on Facebook, let me know how that's looking. Alright, that's just about done. I've got my chilies in here, so then while we're doing that, we're going to get everything else ready. So I need red chilies, it says de-seeded and roughly chopped. I'm not going to de-seed them because you're going to demo tonight as well. Fantastic, that's great. My family like them spicy, so I'm not going to de-seed these tonight. I'm going to keep them whole, as in keep the seeds in them. But yeah, we're just going to probably come to thirds, I reckon. Now that is the kettle, so I'm just going to pop these. I've got just my little dried chilies in here. Pop them in with a bit of water to not rehydrate them. So we need our chilies. Now, I know roughly how much is in here because it says on the package how much the chilies are. Alright, so we've got our chilies in there. Now we need ginger. Now, I've got out some of my ginger. Let me just bring up the scales on here because I don't know how much my ginger weighs. So, very handy to have the scales there ready to go. We're going to have to chop some more ginger, but I did anticipate having to, so that's okay. Alright, I've got my ginger here. I just give it a really rough kind of peel. I don't worry too much about it. Just hoping I'm not missing too much on either stream. I know for those of you who joined Beck on her live, what is that machine? Hi, it's called a Thermomix. So it is a machine that is like your best friend in the kitchen. Replaces things like mix masters, food processors, kettles, slow cookers, all sorts of things. So we're going to use this tonight to make a curry. And I'm actually going to add on to this recipe. So this is not even the original, well, we're using the curry base as per the cookbook. But what I'm going to add to it is I'm going to add on cauliflower rice because I want to do rice with the machine. You're a single mum and you need it. Well, send me, it's really hard for me to see that. Jessie, send me a message and I can absolutely help you get one on the bench. This model is brand new. It's been released for pre-orders, but it's not actually shipping out to our customers until next week. So I can absolutely help you get one of these on the bench. Alright, there's my ginger. Okay, now the shallots. I've got my shallots here. I know how much I need of those, so I just tear that off. It's just slightly over, and that's totally okay. We need lemongrass. Now, again, I know how much is in the lemongrass because the packages say how much is on them, but obviously I could weigh them. Now this one says white parts only, roughly chopped. So just kind of look, take out any of the yucky woody parts and then kind of peel the outer if they're looking a bit rough. I'm just going to kind of chop them into probably 2 or 3 bits. Obviously we're going to blend this on a really high speed. I'm going to come back here. Okay, yeah, definitely come back and I'm happy to answer any questions and let you know a bit more about it. So, I don't know why it's funny on Facebook, because when I did my big live yesterday I could not see comments at all. But now that I've got it on my iPad set up, I can see comments. Fascinating. We are going to blend this, so I don't have to freak out too much about it in terms of the size of it, because I know the super powerful blender is going to make it really, really easy work. Alright, if you guys on TikTok are not yet in my VIP group on Facebook, check out the link in my bio, because that is where I tend to share a lot of things that are coming up, new recipes. I do competitions and stuff over there. I'm just going to pour this water off these chilies so that I can put them into the paste. Woo, that water's still bloody hot. Alright, chilies go in. What else goes into this paste? Now, this says raw macadamia nuts. Kaplan cooking demo. Yes, it's Ayam Kaplan, as in AYAM. So we don't do nuts because we're a nut-free house. So it says you can replace them with sunflower seeds. So I'm just going to pop a bit of sunflower seeds in there. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, a lot of the time, curries will have cashews, macadamia nut, that sort of stuff in there to give like a nice creaminess to it. But we're going to use sunflower seeds, turmeric, and then a little bit of water to go in with it. So we're making the paste, and then we're going to make the curry as well. Now, just got to measure mine. So we tear off the scales. So the scales are built in there. I'm just going to add in water. A little bit more water than that. Now, if you've used Thermomixes before, then you'd be used to a lot of these interfaces and how that all works. But the 7 is just phenomenal. So, hi Gregors, how are you? So, lid, this is one thing I'm still learning. So, it's got a magnet system. So, it will only register when the lid's on properly, which is great. It means you're not going to accidentally flood your machine if the bottom's not left in it and it's not going to fly out anywhere. It doesn't have the locking arms, which the 6 has, but it has this magnetic closure. Now, let me just bring this up. So, for those of you who maybe haven't seen it before, if I go into manual mode, let me move that out of the way in case it's blocking stuff. The recipe here tells me the time, the temperature and the speed that I need to do this next part. So we're going to choose 30 out of the quick options there. We don't have any of the temperature, but we need speed 9, and then we hit play. So this is going to be one of the loudest noises, and that is because we're using speed 9. Looks like, you guys. So it says, excuse me, if you take a big inhalation of that, let me tell you, that'll clean your sinuses. It says to put half of it aside for another day. So I'm just going to spoon half of it into a little freezer safe container. And that looks about like half to me. Well, doing that backwards, see normally I would have that facing me, but I want you guys to be able to see it, so I've kind of got it backwards. So obviously the beautiful turmeric colour and the red chilli. Do I, Gregors? Let me tell you, it arrived today. Gregors has just asked me if I got the new Skinny Mixes book, which is the Dinners 3. That arrived today. I've had the actual recipe book, soft copy, since it was launched, but I have my hard copy arrived today, and I've already made a few things out of it. Alright, so that's the first step. Now what we're going to do, we're going to, add the next bits on. Alright, so we need scales. So let me go back here, bring up my scales. We need our oil mixture. So how much of that do we need? Alright, just about ready to refill my olive oil, that's for sure. Okay. You're attempting the naan bread tonight. Yes, I've heard good things about that naan. Alright, we need that. Now we're going to saute this paste for 10 minutes. So we're going to go back in to manual mode. Now I've just got to make sure I've got the rest of it here. Okay. So again, we pop in the time. So we've got our shortcuts down here. I can pop that in straight away. Shortcut again for our temperature. Now we only want speed 1, and then we hit play. So that's going to saute. So that is going to be our, oh my brain. Let's going to be our garlic and like our whole paste plus also some oil in there. Now I knew there was something I was going to do differently today. I was going to do this cauliflower. I was going to do the cauliflower rice before I started this, but I got sidetracked because I was rushing because I had to do the silly shallots. So I got sidetracked. But what I am going to do is I'm going to use my 6 over the back, which is still an incredibly useful machine. I'm keeping my black 6. So if anyone is after a 6, there's an amazing offer on at the moment where you get $920 of extras in your bundle. It's called the best ever bundle. So the white 6s are still available at the moment for another week. And after that, it's going to be the 7s all the way. I'm going to use my 6 to make the cauliflower rice, okay? Now, I know how long this takes because I've done this plenty of times before with other recipes. It takes about 10 seconds on speed 4 to do about 300 to 400 grams of cauliflower to make it into cauliflower rice. Cauliflower rice is not the easiest or cheapest things to buy, but if you have a cauliflower and you have a Thermomix, you can turn it into cauliflower rice in a matter of seconds. So I'm going to do this because I then want to get it started by putting the varoma on while this is sauteing. Alright, so in my 6, you guys can probably see my 6 on Facebook. You guys can't, but you know what it looks like. You've seen me do it a heap of times. Alright, so let's crunch this up. That's on speed 4. Now, after this 10-minute saute, there's 2 shorter cooks, a 5 and a 5 minutes. So I want to make sure that the cauliflower is getting enough cook. Now, because I'm not using the varoma temp, which is sort of around the 150 degree mark, because I'm not using that, I'm only using 100 degrees. I want to make sure that the cauliflower rice has enough of a chance to properly cook. So I'm going to put it on for the rest of this 10 minutes as well. So you can see, I'll show you guys in a second, but you can see the consistency of the cauliflower rice. That was 10 seconds on speed 4. So let me just put this out here. So this is the varoma, the steamer that goes on top. Just going to lay this all out. That goes on top. The cover goes on. The cap comes off. That sits on top. Okay, so that's going to steam our cauliflower rice as it's cooking. As I said, I wanted to make sure that I got it cooked long enough, so it's going to sit on there for the rest of this, which is nearly 7 minutes, and then for the 2 5-minute cooking blocks as well. Alright, so the next part is going to be adding in our chicken. So I'm just going to get rid of, clean that off, and then I'm going to grab my chicken, get rid of these guys out of the way, and then we're going to cut up the chicken ready for the next part. I'll just double check where I'm up to so I don't get confused. Yep, so it's going to be insert the butterfly, add our chicken. Now when I've got my salt here, I've got my honey, got my tamarind paste, and more, oh, I've got to get more turmeric out. Okay, get the turmeric back out. I'll put it away. Okay, so chicken. I have the right amount of chicken, just got it from the deli. I've just got to cut it up. How does this say to cut it up? Bite-sized chunks. So this is about 800 grams of chicken that I'm going to do. Now the chicken is going to cook in the base. So we're cooking the rice in the top, the curry in the base. That's all we have to wash up. We don't have any other additional dishes or anything like that, which is pretty handy. So let's just cut up this chicken. I really hate touching raw chicken. There's a bit of info about me. I really hate touching it. Sometimes there is no other option because no other bugger's going to do it. So ugh, I just have to do it. I'm just going to cut off these like connective tissue bits that I absolutely detest. Onion skin, I've got ginger skin, I've got everything on here. So now I know that this is going to go on for 2 5-minute cooks. So that tells me the sort of size that I need to cut my chicken into. It might not sound like a lot of cooking time when we're doing 10 minutes total cooking, but it's going into a boiling liquid. So it cooks pretty quickly. The sauce is already cooking at 100 degrees, so it's going to be boiling, and I don't think you guys will be able to hear it because it's so quiet. Did I wash my chicken? No. Why? Because we're not in America. We don't wash our chicken here. It just comes straight from the deli. It's perfectly fine. We do not need to wash it. That is an American thing. I don't know anyone in Australia that washes their chicken. Zero washing of the chicken. If you're an Australian and you wash chicken, tell me and tell me why. Alright. Lisa, you haven't got much use out of Veroma at all, but I'm still a bit unsure and scared how to use it. Oh, girlfriend, the Veroma is the perfect companion for making your Thermomix feed. You've never once washed my chicken. Yeah, it's not an Australian thing, it's an American thing. The Veroma is perfect, especially if you're feeding a larger crew. It's a great way to bulk it out with extra veggies. There's so much space. There's 40% more space in this Veroma than what there was in the TM6. So it allows you to bulk out your dishes, and it also, you add extra protein by using it to do salmon, chicken, that sort of stuff. So it's great for turning like a recipe that may be fed 4 into a recipe that feeds 8 by adding extra veggies or protein to it. It's really hard for me to see the comments. Jen's just sent me a message. Jen, I'm on live. What does the 7 do that the 6 can't? Okay. What does the 7 do that 6 can't is a great question. Differences are the browning mode is an available mode to everybody, which is what we call high heat function on the TM6. You could only access the high heat function, which is 160 degrees, through Cookie-Doo recipes. So that was our online recipe library. On the 7, it is available to anyone. So you don't have to use Cookie-Doo recipes to access the high heat or the browning function. All right, let me just wash my hands briefly, and then I'll tell you some more differences. If you had Cookie-Doo anyway, it really doesn't matter because there was always a way to hack the recipes so that it used to be so loud. It's so quiet now. Like, you can't even hear this. This is on speed 1. It's silent up to speed 2 and really quiet up to about probably speed 4 or 5, I reckon. You do get noise when you're operating in the higher motor levels, obviously, because it's working a bit harder. What else, Jen? Okay, so manual mode. No, not manual mode. Open cooking, which is where I basically turn the jug into a saucepan. It allows me to cook with the lid off, which is great if you're wanting to do pastas and things that you're wanting to stir, or things that are really fragile, like maybe meatballs. You don't want them to break up with the knife moving. So it basically just boils things and the knife doesn't move, which allows you to dip in and dip out and have a look and stir things and, you know, add your seasonings and all that sort of stuff. So open cooking, the browning mode, it allows you to take the lid off at up to speed 2. It'll stop the cooking and allows you to open it up, again, tasting, adjusting your seasonings, put the lid back on and you'll restart it. So it allows you to do that as well. A lot of the other functionalities are things that already existed. They've just been given a bit of a makeover. Does it come with all the accessories? Yes, so the Veroma comes with it, the bowl comes with it, the base comes with it, the lid, the spatula, the steaming basket, and the butterfly whisk. These are all the standard accessories that come with it, okay? At the moment, there aren't any additional accessories that come with it like there were with the 6, because they're going to take a little bit of time to become available. So we had the cutter, the spiralizer, I'm trying to think what else went into the actual bowl. Really, the cutter and the spiralizer were the additional extras. They will come out, they're just going to take a bit of time. But we have a Thermi, but can't remember which one it is. Okay, so this is the 7, this is the 6. It has the 3 big dials on it. The one before this was called the 5. It had a different kind of a screen, and it had more buttons along here. It was slightly smaller and a bit older. So the 7, the 6, and then the 5 was the one before that. And then the one before that was the 31. That was a manual one that just had dials. So it had buttons and dials on it. So there you go. That might be able to tell you which one you've got. All right, we've got about 20 seconds left of that one. We're going to add in our chicken. So we're going to add in our butterfly whisk. So butterfly whisk, there you go. Facebook, butterfly whisk, TikTok. How much are they worth? Okay, so this is the new TM7. That is 2649. The TM6, which is available until next week, was about for another week, is 2579. Okay, so that's done. Butterfly whisk, it's used for obviously whipping up cream and things like that, but we're also going to use it to stir, gently stir this curry so that we're not shredding our chicken as we're cooking. Trying to make sure that I'm not going to miss any other questions. Okay, so we take the cover off this and we put the blade, it slips straight over the knife, which is what the blades are called, and we pop it just to the left of the highest blade. Pop it straight in. Now, I'm going to make sure, I haven't made this before, so I need to try and concentrate. Okay, butterfly is in. Then we want to add in our chicken. Now, I've got my scales right on the home screen, which is perfect, so I can actually check and see exactly how much. I know it was I think when I bought it from the deli, it was 790 grams worth. It asked for 800. We're probably going to be down at about 750, I reckon, after a little bit of trimming. 742, not bad. Which is fine, I don't have to adjust the cooking for that small amount. Thank you for sharing the live, that's fantastic. Okay, chicken. Now we need some salt. All right. Honey. Okay, I just like to eyeball some of these ingredients. If they say like a teaspoon of this, a tablespoon of that. Tamarind paste. All right, now this is one it wants me to measure. It's got grams in it. So I'm going to fight my way into this tamarind paste. And then I can measure. So I'll bring the scales up on there. Oh, goodness me. Here we go. This is great. A lot of Asian curries that have tamarind paste in it. It's a really unique flavour, but it gives a great sort of extra level of flavour profile to them. Thanks for the follow. Thank you for sharing the live, guys. Alright, that's tamarind paste. Then we need turmeric. We only need like a teeny tiny bit of this. That's about enough. Okay, we're going to cook it. We're going to do another 5-minute cook. We are going to put our cauliflower rice back on. So we want to do a 5-minute. We want to do 100s. Okay, make sure I'm doing it the right way here. Okay, now we're going to do the slowest speed, which is called soft spoon. We're going to do it in reverse because we don't want to be using the front side of the blades. We're going to pop our cauliflower rice back in, and that's going to do its thing. So you won't hear this. This will be completely silent because we're using the soft spoon speed. That is not easy to say. Okay, that's going to do its thing. So the butterfly whisk is in there really slowly turning that chicken with the extra bits and pieces, so the honey and the salt and the turmeric and the tamarind paste, along with that curry paste, which was already at 100 degrees. So it's going into a boiling liquid, which means that the 2 5-minute cooks are not going to be too short. They're going to be perfectly fine. It's going to be cooked when it comes out. Let me just go right again and move some of these things out of the way so that I can have a slightly less hectic cook space. If you guys want to know, I'm going to talk to you in a sec. I'll tell you some of the offers for those that are interested or curious. All right, that's got to go in the fridge now that it's open. These guys can go away. All right. There is also an option if you are wanting to get your hands on the Thermomix and you don't want to outlay any money for it. There is an option to earn one as a consultant. So you get all the training, you get to do some demonstrations, show your friends and family, and you can earn it with a certain number of sales in your first 2 months. So if anybody wants to know any more about that, you can let me know. All right, let me just double check what's left in this recipe. I've got to do that and that. Right, I need to thinly slice. I knew I had to slice something else up, and that is the lime leaves. So I've got coconut cream here that's going into it, and I've got some lime leaves that I need to chop up. Thinly slice, it says. So the TM7, the one I'm showing you guys, this is the brand new guy. Our first customers that have purchased them Thermomix high heat cooking tips. Is that something you would want, or are you asking me a question? Let me know. Thermomix TM7 is going to be dispatched to our first customers next week. It's been on pre-order for a fair few weeks now. So if you've already ordered yours, thank you for your support. If you are thinking about it, let me help you out. I can help out anyone in Australia. 2649 they are. And the TM6, which is the one over the back here, that is our model that's available for one more week, 2579. It does almost everything the same. Hey Beck, I thought you were at a demo, babe. My team leader Beck's on here, God love her. She's out demonstrating. So Beck, we're doing Ayam Kaplan, which is the captain's curry out of A Little Taste of Asia. I'm showing the manual mode today for those that haven't seen it. Oh, Beck, she's on both of my feeds, God love her. Now, Jen, I hope I answered your question before about what does the 7 do that the 6 can't. We said it has open cooking. We said you can take the lid off up to speed 2, and we said browning mode is available unlocked as a standard mode. Thank you for answering any questions, Beck. So if I've left anything off, let me know about the 7 to the 6. So the 6, 2579 is available for one more week, comes with a $920 bundle of extras, so you get a second bowl, you get the glider board, you get the cutter and the spiralizer and the blade cover and peeler, plus 3 months of cookie dough. So 2579 and you get an extra $920 worth. But at the moment we've got a trade-in offer, so if you have either an older Thermomix or you have other appliances, like you might have a KitchenAid or another type of thermal cooker that you're wanting to trade in, you can get up to $680 off the price of a TM6. Again, that's only for one more week. So that's something that if you want to know, make sure you hit me up and I'm more than happy to help you with that. The 7 is going to start shipping next week. It's 2579. Comes with all the basic accessories. So you have aroma for your steaming. You have your steaming basket, the butterfly whisk that's in there, our gorgeous spatula. I want to show you guys this. So this is the new spatula compared to the old one. It is much more flexible, so it means it's really easy to get all around the bowl in there. And you see this little, so make it so you can see this little divot on here? That is the stand, so it can stand upright. So our previous spatulas, you might remember, for the 6 had the collar on them, and the collar has 2 flat spots on it, which meant you could lean it and it wouldn't touch the bench. Well, they've upgraded it. This sleek, fancy little thing with a little nodule on the base, so I can stand it up like that. Hi! Oh, is that Justin who was in your, that was in your live yesterday, Beck? I think I saw him, he and Patrick were having a chat. So that is, yeah, the main difference, that's right. So, oh, we're finished there, fantastic. Let me just double check this. We want to do coconut cream and lime leaves. Yes, yes. So let's do lime leaves. Now we only want 100 grams of this, so let me bring up the scales. I mean, is it really, it's not going to matter, is it? Not put 200 in. It's just going to mean more sauce. So that was 185. All right. So let's pop him back on. I might just give him a bit of a stir. So we're using the whisk, so it's a nice gentle stir. Justin is waiting for his TM7. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, go with sauce, that's what I reckon. So we're just giving this a real gentle stir. Okay. I'm going to do another 5-minute cook. So we locate that lid, and it does the work for me, because I would fiddle about with it all night, but it knows where it needs to sit, and it's not going to register unless I put it in the right spot, like that. All right, so we're going to do another 5 minutes. Use my shortcuts there, 100 degrees. We're going to use reverse, and we're going to do the soft spoon, and I'll put my aroma back on, and we're going to do that, and that's going to be the final 5 minutes. So that's exciting. Can't wait for next week. I know, how exciting. Some people, the people who ordered on day 1 have been waiting, what's it been on order for, mate, is it about 7 or 8 weeks, I think, the orders have been open. Now let me pop these guys away. So if you are brand new to the world of Thermomix, I'm using this in what's called manual mode cooking. So I'm telling the machine how long to cook for, what speed, and what temperature. Perfect, you can do that whenever you want, no dramas at all. You're following recipe books there are a few different companies that write recipe books for Thermomix. Skinny Mixes is one of them that seems to be quite popular. But one of the best things about the Thermomix is our online recipe library. That's called Cookie Do. There's an app you can use on your phone. You can access it all on here. It's a connected smart machine, goes into your Wi-Fi, allows you to access, in English, there's nearly 12,000 recipes. So I challenge you to not find something that you like. And we can use that all in the machine here. So this is currently telling me what it's doing, but if I go over here and we go to home, we've got some shortcuts on here. So if I want to bring up the pre-clean mode, because it does clean itself, which is exciting. That was on, yeah, you're on day one, well done. We've got pre-clean, we've got our manual mode, we've got a few other shortcuts. You can change what these buttons are. And I haven't added a recipe to this yet. I had one yesterday for the low-waste chicken lasagna that I made, which is now in the fridge and in bellies. We come down, we've got our Cookie Do recipe. So the only filter that I have on is English, and it brings up 11,835 recipes. I can search through that online recipe for things like how long something takes. So I want something that's not going to take any more than half an hour. I can look for gluten-free, I can look for nut-free, I can look for specific ingredients. If I'm going through my fridge and I see I have a couple of carrots and a celery and some coconut cream and I want to know what I can make, you can plug those ingredients in there and it'll spit out recipes that use those ingredients, which is fantastic. So it's really cutting down the waste and taking some of the thinking out of it, which we just love. So, excuse me, that's Cookie Do. Okay, the next one, so you can see that yesterday I made our low-waste chicken lasagna. When you've set up your week, you can plan your whole week out here and then just press it on it and press start, and then you can just go from there. Tells me all about it. All right. This guy here is our modes page for those that haven't seen a Thermomix before. It does come with 3 months Cookie Do. So, great question, I missed that one. Come with 3 months of Cookie Do for free, and then it is an $89 subscription for the year. I think it works out to like $1.37 a week or something like that. So $89 for the year. 3 months for free though. You can see whether or not you love it. You can always use your machine without using Cookie Do, but I just think it amplifies the amazingness of it because it gives you access to all of those recipes at your fingertips. Thanks, Beck. So we've got all our modes on here. So we did mention the 7 has our browning mode and it has our open cooking mode as well, which is a new guy on here. But we've got all these things it does: grating, slicing, peeling, spiralizing, sous vide, fermenting, rice cooking, egg boiling mode, using it as a blender, doing doughs, cleaning, turbo, steaming, all of those things. So there are a whole bunch of modes available. Then we've got our settings in here. So if you like something that's got a larger font, if I put it on large, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it or not, but hopefully you might be able to see the difference in size. So you can turn the size up, updates and new features throughout the, yes, that's right. It is the Apple of cooking appliances, it just works. You log into it, you have the same login on the app as you do on your Thermomix. Every time you turn your Thermi on, it will look for updates. So it's looking for software updates because it is a smart connected machine. So it'll download the latest software updates that might add in some modes, it might fix any bugs that are in the system. It just works like that. Now I brought this home with me in luggage on Sunday. It's so slick, I know, right? It is beautiful. Now, I will point out, because people asked me this yesterday, they said, oh, if food falls in the vents, these are not vents. This is, they're like little raised ridges. It's very slick looking, but there are no vents, so there's no food going to fall in anywhere. You love it so much, well, yeah, let's talk about getting one on your bench if you don't already have one. So I brought it home. The only thing I took in my hand luggage was the bowl, because that was a little wide for the suitcase that I took up with me. It was only an overnight stay. The base, the Varoma, everything else, and the blades all came in checked in luggage. And I think that all came to about 9 kilos, I think, all up in my checked-in baggage. And then I just brought the bowl on the plane with me in my carry-on. So that was really handy. Very, very easy to get around with. Now we've just about finished our cook here. I'm going to get a clean spatula. Plays your little ditty. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Okay. Alright, so let me show you guys. Obviously I don't want to spill it, but there is my curry, my Ayam. It's, oh, thank you. Now, you've bought your first Thermomix tonight. Oh, that's amazing. You're going to love it. You are absolutely going to love it. So this is it's called Kaplan's Curry, or Ayam Capitan, from Skinny Mixers. I'm just going to give this a good stir, and this is the time where I would look to see if I'm happy with the level of the chicken cooking, okay? And I'm a bit more of a on the side of overcooked rather than undercooked. I've got boots on the track pants, so I don't know about glamorous and looking good, but I'm trying my best. I'm trying to keep them warm. All right, I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to check the cauliflower rice to make sure that I'm happy with that, and then we can pop it into. Yep, we can pop it into our dishes. Rocking the pink. I am very pink. I'm very pink today. So this will make, I think the original recipe, it says serve 6. For our family, it's going to serve between 4 and 6 because of who I'm feeding and what they like. So we will see how that goes in terms of how far it's going to stretch. But that's the Ayam happy time today. Here's my top tip when you've got your herbs. I have 2 of these containers now. I pop them in the freezer. I buy them when these herbs usually can get 2 for $5 sometimes when they're on sale. I've got thyme, I've got lemon thyme, I've got dill, I've got a whole bunch of things in there. I just pulled those lime leaves out a couple of hours ago to let them thaw out so they were easy to work with, and then they go straight into the freezer. So we're going to dish up our cauliflower rice with our Kaplan curry, and that's going to go into some meal prep serves so that people can grab it and go as they like. I prefer not to have to cook dinner during the week. I prefer to cook on the weekend and then have a whole bunch of things in the freezer that people can pull from. But I thought I wanted to hop on tonight and show you guys this recipe because it is one I was going to do on the weekend and then I ended up going away. I got to see beautiful Beck and the rest of the Southwest Queensland branch, and I got to catch up with them, so I didn't do much cooking on the weekend. You love the spatula? Oh, thank you. That's one of my Tupperware ones. Jen just asked, does it come with a thermoserver? No, Jen, the TM7 doesn't come with a thermoserver, nor does the TM6, but the way you get your hands on the thermoserver is you have a demonstration. So you invite 2 friends over, you have me either in your home or virtually. We do a cook, and you can get your hands on the thermoserver for cheap. So thermoservers, this is one of them. This is the oval one. So they're about keeping your food hot for longer. There's also a round one. These are both host reward options. Hello, what am I doing? Well, we're cooking. So thermoserver, you can get it as, I think this one's about maybe $130 or $150, and you get it for about $50 as a host reward. And if any of your guests decide to purchase the Thermomix, you can get it for free. So thermoservers are only available as a host reward offer. I offer my virtual service all around Australia, and if you happen to be in the Newcastle, Hunter Valley, Maitland area, I'm happy to do in-persons as well. Cooking in the future, yes. Okay, so we cooked a Kaplan's curry tonight. We're actually finished. We did cauliflower rice in our aroma, and we've cooked our curry, and we're going to pop them into some meal prep containers, and there you go. So I'm just going to recap really quickly. I'm trying to keep up with things. You're in Perth. Fantastic. Okay, TM6 2579 with $920 worth of bonus bundle equipment available for 1 week left. TM7 brand new, starting to ship next week. 2649 comes with the standard accessory pack. If you don't want to have one on your bench or on the way to you yet, make sure you let me know and I would love to hook you up. Alright guys, that's it from me. I'm going to run. I've got other commitments tonight. I've got to go play some sport, so that is where we're going to be. Thank you so much. My plan is to do, because I've got at least one other one to do roast chicken rissoles, which is another out of the Dinners 3 Skinny Mix book. So hopefully I'll hop on maybe tomorrow or Wednesday night. We'll see how we go. But thank you for checking in. If you're not yet in my VIP group on Facebook, go to the link in my bio. You'll see my link tree there and my VIP groups on there. That's where I share all of the latest deals and offers. I often do my live cooking on there as well, recipes, tips, all that sort of stuff. Thanks very much, guys. I'm going to head off. Goodbye TikTok, goodbye Facebook. Jen, I'm going to answer more of your questions and we'll figure out which one you want to go with. All right, guys. Have a great day. Bye now.